Hey, what's up guys? It's Nash and welcome to my channel for a brand new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tiny Glade demo. This is a new game that is going to be coming to Steam very soon. It has not released yet, but it looks very promising. It looks really cute and beautiful. The graphics are so pretty on this game. But basically this is a game all about creating castles. It's kind of like a little bit of a sketchpad slash doodle game where you can create castles to your heart's content, whatever size, whatever shape, whatever you want to do with it. If you want to add walls or pillars or anything, you can do that. It is going to be very good if you are a creative type person. There is no survival elements to this game whatsoever. It is all about just building and creating and making things as you would if you were doodling in your sketchbook at home. So that is what it's all about. I'm not going to talk too much longer, so let's hop right in and just check out this game. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you are enjoying the Tiny Glade content, and don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, so if you could help me out with that, that would be amazing. So here on the welcome message, it says, "Thanks for trying our demo. Tiny Glade is a relaxing game where you can doodle whimsical castles, cozy cottages, and romantic ruins. There's no management, combat, or goals, just like I mentioned." So we are going to get into just showing this off today. I want to show you guys how cool this is and just try to build something really nice. Now, what I think this game is going to be especially useful for is building in other games, or especially if you are into tabletop games, Dungeons and Dragons, even maybe like Warhammer. You can kind of come up with your own sceneries. And I think that this is going to be a game that is very useful when maybe building some Minecraft builds as well. You can come in, place your little sections down, and then figure out what you want and then build it in a different game if you want to. That is definitely what I'm going to be using it for. But what we're going to do is we are going to look at all of our options down here. Let's see what this game is all about. So I'm going to take the eraser tool and we are going to go through and just get rid of this lovely build that I have prepped for us, just to kind of see what we can do with some of the mechanics. So firstly, let's just go through them. So we have our building blocks here. We have our path blocks. We have windows and lanterns. We have a painting block, an eraser block, a terrain block, a flower block. We will also eventually have access to trees, and it looks like ponds or water sources, which I can't wait for, but that is locked in the demo. You can also take photos and you can change the time of day. First things first, though, we are going to erase what is already here. I'm so sad because this build is actually really cool, but one of the awesome features of this game with the erase tool is you can kind of come through and just create ruins if you want to. Look at that. Like, we can get rid of the center of that build and it's going to leave the wall structures behind and act as ruins. And you can even come through and change these if you want to, making the sizes different so that it really looks like it's been dilapidated and crushed over time. I think that this is a really cool detail. And again, this game is super dynamic. So anything that you change, it is going to be, it's going to kind of affect what's around it. So I'm just going to create a blank canvas for us here. We're going to get rid of that. We're also going to get rid of this path block. And let's see, does that go all the way? Okay, we have an official blank canvas now. You can also see that there are little sheep that kind of wander around. You can pet them, which is adorable. And another thing you can do that I'll show you, oh, this sheep is going to demonstrate it for us. This is a perfect time to show you guys the terrain tools, because we can come in and pop the sheep up and down. So I believe the higher we go, watch this, if I bring this down, the sheep will just float. It'll float with this little umbrella, so no sheep are harmed in the making of your castles. It is amazing. I just think that that is an adorable little detail, so I had to show you guys. But yeah, we've got some terrain things that we can change here. So you can kind of add a giant block of terrain. You can lift it up and down, and it is dynamically going to add rocks around the edges. You can also come in and add more to the side if you want to. You can really create a bunch of really cool shapes, and you can change these singularly, oh my goodness, my words, singularly apart from each other, which is very nice. So I think I do want to play with terrain just a little bit. So I'm going to kind of create a little bit of a platform back here. I think that would be nice. Just gonna make this reach all the way to the side of the demo here. And maybe just fill up about halfway of our circle. You can see that we only have this circle to work with within the demo. If we go outside of that, it is locked, which, I mean, we can't go outside of that, but I'm hoping that we will have all of this later. It looks like, yeah, this is going to be the full game. We'll have this big circle. So that is good to keep in mind. We're not just going to have this little tiny circle forever. We'll have a lot of space to work with. But I'm thinking we just build a small starter house to go over everything together. So firstly, I want to start with getting some building blocks down. We are going to start with a tower, and I'm just going to go over here in this corner. We're going to plop that down just like so, and you can see that it'll just build it for you. No need to worry about actually building the structure. Now, what's cool about this game is we can actually change a lot about the structure. We can come in and make the roof pointy. We can make it sloped or super low, or we can even have the tower brick kind of top to it, which I think looks personally really cool. But we can make this as tall as we want to. There is a build limit to keep in mind, but you can get pretty tall with it, and I think that looks so whimsical. There's also different grab points along the build. So if you want to grab the top, that will adjust the height. If you want to grab from the bottom, that is going to add columns to the bottom and lift the entire building section up. I'm going to keep this on the ground and then just lift this up a little bit. You can also change the width if you want to by kind of grabbing the center section. This part I find a little bit difficult to manage, but sometimes you can get it just right, and it will dynamically change as you get it to the right size that you want it. You can also rotate by using the right mouse button, and then the middle mouse click going to pan for you. So just keep that in mind. We are going to come through and add a box to the side of our tower here. And I'm really going to use the camera angles to help me line this up. So I kind of just plop the box next to it. Grabbing onto the corner, you can rotate. So we are going to line that up just like so. Just so this and this wall and this side of the tower are parallel, and then again just using our camera to rotate and pull this side into the side of our tower here. So what's cool about this is we can start to change the box as well now. I'm thinking that I want this to be quite large, so we'll make the main frame of the house pretty big. Again, this does go into our tower. I'm going to sink this back a little bit just so our tower comes out and around. And then how are we looking on the back? I think the back looks fine. Maybe we'll shrink it just a teensy tiny bit. Now the roofs are very fun because there's quite a lot to change. You'll see this rotation here where you can literally change the rotation of the roof from kind of a front view or a side view. And then you can also pull to the side if you want to. And again, it will dynamically adjust to have this wall if you pull it all the way out on the side. I'm going to actually lift this tower up just a little bit more. Again, grabbing that roof frame, we can really sink this down as much as we want to. I think that looks pretty good though. I think I want to keep it just like that. So this is a nice little starter house. I am liking how this is looking. The last thing we can add is walls. I'm not so sure that I want to add these to our build, but maybe just to show you guys, we can kind of connect this up. We'll just pick a starting point and we can kind of curve these any which way that we want to and connect them up with the house. I think that looks so cool. But just to show you guys this, we can create a really, really curvy S-shaped wall. You could create a maze with this, which I think would look so cool. Again, you can also change the size, making this really tall or really short. So I think having a cute little short garden wall would look really nice there. So let's do that. Now I want to add one more section to this house. We're going to add a front section here. So just adding another box frame and then trying to line it up, again, grabbing it by the corner there and just making it parallel. We want this wall and this wall to be as parallel as possible. So I think that that's about right. Now, another thing that is really cool to keep in mind is you can click on a box structure, and if you right click on it, you are going to get advanced options, which if you're having a hard time reaching a certain part of the build, this is the way to go. So keep that in mind. Right clicking is going to be one of your best friends. So for example, I couldn't reach this wall here very well if we were out of right click mode. Like, I kind of can get in there, but it's really hard. It's kind of snapping to other sections. So again, going into right click mode, that is going to allow us to expand that wall. And look at that, we get a little bird's nest on top between the roof sections. That is extremely cute. Another thing that we can do here is we can pull the build up. We can pull it up from the bottom as well. Let me see if I can grab that. Yeah, look at that. So we get a column that pops up, and I think that that actually looks really cool. But we're making a starter house, so we don't want too much height on this thing. So we're going to drop that back down. I do want to change the roof orientation of this because I think it's going to make a little bit more sense to have this style roof. Then we can pull it out to meet up with this roof here. And we probably actually want to just extend this because I want this to be a little bit more in. So I'm going to extend this left side to meet up with the roof a little bit better. I'm going to drop this roof down just so it meets up and connects here, like I said, a little bit better. And there we go. That is the front extension to our house. I do really like it. I'm going to kind of push this back just a little bit because it is intersecting with these rocks here. In fact, maybe what we can do is just start to kind of push these rocks even up a little bit more. There the sheep goes. And then we can pull this forward a bit. There we go. Nice. Now moving on to the fun part, we can add windows to our build and dormers. Dormers are so cool, so they will just automatically add as you hover over the roof. And if you hover over the walls, it will add windows. You can also see that, like I said, this is very dynamic. So if you add a window, it will add some little items around, like a rake, a hoe, a box of pillows, it looks like. So you can really get creative with putting walls and things in different places and having it just dynamically adjust. I think I want to add 2 dormers to the top here, and then I'm going to swivel around onto the other side, and we are going to add dormers here. Another thing to keep in mind is that you can also change what these look like. So you can click on them with the left mouse button, and that is going to either take away the flower bed or add a flower bed. And I just think that that's a little detail to keep in mind. You can also make these 2 wide, I think actually even up to 3 wide. Let me see if I can get this to work a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, up to 3 is what it seems like is the maximum. But doesn't that look so nice? So you can get really big ones if you want to. Now again, there is no snapping in this game, so you have to line things up as well as you can. I think the best advice I have for you guys is just to take it from different views and different angles, making sure that, you know, they're in line if you want them to be. You could also go, you know, kind of wild with it if you want and make them mismatch. That could add to the character of the build, but I'm just going to go through and add a few more dormers and some windows to this build. Another thing I want to mention really quickly is that the music in this game is so charming. It is so cute. Kind of plays similarly to Minecraft, where you'll just kind of hear it pop on every once in a while, and it is just so amazing. Okay, so I got the windows set up, and again, there are a lot of different options when it comes to windows. So it's all about just clicking and kind of playing around with just playing around with it, seeing what you like and what you don't like. So you can, you know, add flower boxes to the dormers if you want. You can add it to all of them. And after you've already placed them, you can move them around. I love the hanging cloths in this game. It is my favorite. I also love a good shuttered window. So I'm going to go through and add both shuttered windows there. We're going to have the cloth hanging. And then I think in this section, we're going to add a door. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that really quickly. The doors are all based on path blocks. So we have 3 different widths here that we can use. And you just want to kind of touch this onto the ground. You'll start to see the path forming. And then the second you kind of come up to the door area, it will automatically add a door for you. You can also adjust the height of it and make it really big if you want it kind of having a grand doorway. That's pretty cool. Now can we, I guess you can't move a door because again it is connected to the path, so you have to make sure it's where you want it first. Can we change what this door looks like? I don't think so. Oh, you know what? I remember messing around with this. Let's actually get rid of this path block here really quickly, because I think what we can do is if we put a window low enough, it will add and be a door. Maybe not actually. I thought that was a thing. Maybe not. Maybe if I have a path block there. No, because that's just going to add a door. Yeah, that's just going to add a window. I don't know. I thought that added a door for some reason, but I guess not. One of my favorite little things that I learned recently is that you can actually add diagonal windows or like little side windows. So I might even do that just right here. It looks a bit odd, but I love it. Like, I don't know. I think that's such a cool little idea. Again, I love the cloth hanging out the window to dry or to act as a banner. That's one of my favorite little details in this game. So I just think that that's really cool. So there is another thing that I wanted to try to add to this tower. I wanted to just play around with this roof. So we're going to add this as a tower roof. We're going to sink this down just a little bit. And then I am going to add another circle tower to the top of this. And then we're going to make this just a little bit smaller if we can. Not too much smaller. Oh man. Okay. Making it bigger. That's not what I wanted. Okay, we're going to line it up with the edges. And what this is going to create is kind of like a little rim around. I don't know. I think that looks really cool. And then I'm going to sink this down so that the roof is kind of right above that. I don't know. I think I saw a picture of this online and I really wanted to try to recreate it. So I think that looks cool. But if I remember correctly, I almost think that it was more so there was like a tower and then this was not the whole bottom. I don't know. I'm gonna have to just keep playing around with this and come up with some really cool designs in the future, but I just wanted to see if we could add some depth and dimension, and it definitely looks like we can. So we could really make this as tall as we want to. Just adding different block sections to it is gonna allow you to create some really cool things if you take your time and play around with it. So we've got our tower set up, we've got our house set up. Next thing I'm going to do is go back to the bigger path block here, and we are going to add a little open section where we can add our front door as well as a path going up to our house, of course. So kind of like I showed you earlier with the paths, we can add these large archways. Yeah, archways. We can add those to our build, and I think it'd be really nice to sort of have those on both sides of this flat area. So we're just going to do that and stretching it out using the path block as much as we can. I'm not sure if we want to add it to the front of the build, like to this section, or if we want to keep that a wall. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know, because it could look cool if we do that, but then we could also have a flower bed here. We could even also add some windows here so you can see through maybe. Another thing we can do is we can come in and we can adjust the height of these archways. So we can really make those tall so you can walk right under them, and you can even go inside of here and you can get really close on these builds, and you can add more path block and even a doorway there. So that is going to be our front door. Again, everything in this game is dynamic. So if we add path block to these rocks, it's going to start to clear out a pathway to come down and create a little staircase that you can use as well. We are going to snake this path over here like it's been trotted on. Oh, I think that this looks really charming. I love this as a little starter house. We're going to definitely add a flower bed back here. So let's go through with our flower tool and just start to get some flowers planted right there. That looks awesome. And you can add a lot of flowers. They kind of come in a really big bushel. I wish that you could adjust the size of the flower. In fact, maybe you can. I'm not entirely sure if there is a way to adjust the size of the circle yet. That's something that I still haven't figured out, but I'll make a future video on this and show you guys if I do end up, you know, figuring anything out. I guess you could kind of come in with the eraser tool and adjust it sort of like that if you want to. Now let's see here. Do we want to add another flower bed? It might be cool. We have all these wood piles here, so maybe we come and add a flower bed to the front section of the house, just like that. Like, this is a very flower-oriented household, I guess. Yeah, I think the erase tool is going to be your best friend when trying to kind of make these a bit smaller. Another thing we can add to our build is lanterns. Now, if you put these on the ground, they're automatically going to turn into lantern posts. If you go over to the house, they will change to a wall lantern. So I'm going to add 2 of these to the front of the build just to give us a little extra lighting. Maybe add one in between these 2 windows there. And then we are going to come on inside if we can reach and pop a little lantern there next to the front door. It looks like a sheep is exploring our flowers here. That is very, very cute. You can also change the rotation of the lamppost if you want to, and then go in and adjust wherever you want it to be located. So that's pretty cool. And just like that, in no time at all, we have a really, really adorable floral medieval build. It is, I think it's super charming. I love the fact that this can come together so quickly and I can just kind of brain dump whatever my heart is telling me to create right here. It is something that I just find so cool. So I'm really taken by this game. As you can see, I want to say I am not sponsored by this game. I am strictly showing this because I genuinely think that this game is really cool. It's a really cool tool. I think it's really well made. It's beautiful. The lighting is amazing. Intuitiveness of it too, I think, is really creative and smart. And I just think that it's a great game and I wanted to show it to you guys. So again, this is not sponsored by any means. Whenever I see a game that I think is cool to show you guys, I'm gonna show you guys. So last thing I want to go over with you guys is just the fact that you can change the color of your house if you want. We can make it orange, we can make it kind of a whiter color. I don't know what this one is, this end one. Maybe it's to get rid of a texture, I don't know. We can make it like a green mossy kind of brick. So we could go through and change everything. You do have to change these individually, so you want to make sure that you go through and change everything. But we can make the roof green as well. And like I said, this is just demo mode, so there are going to be things that unlock over time. We have quite a few things that, man, I cannot wait for. When this game officially releases, I am going to come and try all of the things that we unlock. It is going to be amazing. I think I'm actually going to keep the house the way it was, though. I liked the way that it looked before, so I am not going to change anything. I think that looks really nice. Actually, I will come back and change the wall back here because I kind of want it to match the house. It was defaulting to the orange texture. Another thing that I hope they add in this game is the ability to change the color of flowers, or to at least pick the color of flowers that you want. I don't know if that's something they could do, but I personally would love if they added that. That would be really sweet. But in just a short amount of time, like I said, guys, this is something that we created. Lastly, I just want to show you the photo options because look at this. Holy moly, it renders so beautifully. I can't even express how wonderful this is. Like the way the field of view is, and it gives you this nice blur so you can really zoom in and you can get really close too, and you can really like point the camera exactly where you want it and take take a picture. It's just something else. I love it. Now we do have different modes here. We also have fly modes, so you can come in and you can really get those swooping shots if you want to, or you can just kind of position your camera wherever you want it. We also have a zoom, or kind of like an FOV here, so you can really zoom out if you want to, or you can zoom in and get that nice tight shot. So there is that. I think that is probably good for us. You can also change, I believe this is the aperture. I'm so sorry if I'm getting, or shutter speed. It's either shutter speed or aperture. I get those two confused. You can change this as well. A lot of just different nice quality of life kind of things to keep in mind when taking photos of your builds and whatnot. So I think this is a really good angle, and we can change the time of day as well. So as you can see, the sun is not facing directly on our build, and one of the things that I always suggest doing when you're taking a picture of your builds in this game or in Minecraft is to make sure the sun is kind of beaming directly on to your subject. It's just going to give you a really nice bright light, and it's going to bring out all the details. You don't want it to be washed out, so you got to play around with it a little bit and get the right angles, but you can really get some nice photos if you have that sun in just the right spot. So I think that is a good picture right there. So I'm just going to take a photo and maybe back up a little bit, and this is going to save automatically to your Steam library, so that is pretty awesome. Another thing you can do is adjust it so you get the passage of time. So you could create like a time lapse if you want to, or you can just have it so you get a day-night cycle is basically what that means. And then you can set it to whatever time you want as well. You could have it midday, or you can have it nighttime, which you will see all of the lights automatically turn on. You'll see fireflies in the distance. It's beautiful. It is so nice the way that this looks. And last but not least, you can go into first person mode, which I think is really, really cool. So you can walk around your town or your house or your build or whatever it may be, and you can actually see what it would look like from a first person perspective. And if you're thinking, whoa, that's too tall or that's too small, this should be changed, then you can always go in and adjust that. So it's pretty sweet. You can really get in and underneath and see all the details and everything come out to our flower bed back here. You can also go inside the builds, which I think is kind of fun, and you can see the vines and stuff. Hello. Hello, welcome to my house. Look at that. It goes all the way through right there, so I can actually see out of those windows. I love it. Oh man, it's just so cool. We can even go and see a sheep. Hello, sheep. You can see these up close and personal. Look at how little cute. Oh, and you can pet them in first person mode too. You can also change the brightness of the photos. So if you like a little bit more contrast, then you can bump that down just a little bit. That's going to make for a nice photo. You can take away the time of day if you want to too. But that is it, guys. That is Tiny Glade. I cannot say enough good things about it. Obviously, I'm a pretty big fan, and I can't wait to make more builds for you guys. I might pop into this game every once in a while and just do like a little speed build or something, just to get my creative juices flowing. And if I ever need inspiration for Minecraft builds, this is probably where I'm gonna go first, if I'm being honest with you guys. So highly recommend you check it out. Again, it's on Steam. I'm not sure how much it's gonna cost when it officially comes out, but we'll just have to stick around and stay tuned for that. I think I'm gonna make another build when the official release comes out, which is hopefully pretty soon as of me uploading this. Again, we don't have an official release date, so I'm not entirely sure. But with all that being said, that is it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. We have about 6 months left, so help me as much as you can. That would be awesome. We are currently at like 60,000, 61,000 almost. So thank you guys so much for the support always. Huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are amazing, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Have a very beautiful, wonderful day. Bye guys. Super quickly before I finish off this video, I just want to come back with you guys because I've learned a couple new things that are insanely cool. So first of all, I did not know you could put a sphere down close to the ground and get like a step going up. That is so cool. So literally what this is just our spherical kind of column, like our one of these, our towers, and you just kind of pop it down close to the ground, and look at that. It will add huge staircase if you want that. That is incredible. You could really bring it down if you want and have a small little walkway section. Another thing is, I knew you could add a door. I talked about this earlier on in the video. I was like, I know you can add a door. I know you can, using the window right here. So it turns out that you can't do it if it's on the ground outside, I believe, but you can do it if it's connected to another. Oh gosh, let me pull this up. Oh no. Okay, no. Okay, we're just gonna leave that. If it is connected to another building block. So there you go. There is the door right there using the window. And that is how that works. So pretty cool. You can move this wherever you want to. You could have a little side window if you want. And then you can also go through and change the color of the door to a red door or a green door, and we're going to have a ton of other options. So I just thought that this was really cool. I had just opened this and this was the default that was already there, and I was like, wait a second, how did they do that? So I had to dissect it and figure it out. Also, you can put lanterns on the brick, so they will just set up as lanterns on the ground. Anyways, guys, that is officially going to have to do it. Thank you again. I already did the outro, so I will see you next time. All right. I promise this is officially the last one, but I learned something new again. Okay. I am just building random stuff. Also, this is what I was trying to do earlier. I had to get in and try to figure it out because I wanted to add like a little, I don't know what this is called, but like a little castle round to the top where it didn't go all the way down. What I did earlier was this section went all the way down to the ground, whereas I just wanted this little tiny section to be up at the top to go around the roof. You just have to do a sphere and kind of put down your first sphere and then put another sphere on top of it and make a bigger sphere. And you know what, let me just show you guys because I feel like I'm terrible at explaining this. So we're gonna get rid of that. This is not what I wanted to show you, by the way. I have another thing to show you after this, but I figured in case you guys were wondering how you can make those little toppers, one of the things that I actually find a little bit easier is to do it on the outside and then make it a little bit bigger, pop that all the way down, right click, and then you should be able to use the move to actually move this into place where you want it. Kind of want to align that with your sphere. I keep calling it a sphere. It's not a sphere. It is a cylinder. It is a cylinder. Towers are cylinders, not spheres. Stop saying that, Nash. Anyways, yeah, so we can kind of make this as big as we want. And then what you want to do is you actually want to shrink this from the top and go all the way down. Also, how cool is that? We can add like a little lip to the bottom. I mean, hey, that's just another thing we can do. I'm learning so many things. Okay, and then what you want to do is lift this up. So it's important that you remember you want to adjust this from the top, not the bottom. And you want to make this pretty much as small as you can go, and then lifting this up from the bottom, just right underneath the roof. That is going to give you that nice castle lip to the top. And again, if you want to adjust this and make it a little bit smaller, you totally can. You can make this bigger, and I mean, hey, that even looks cool. It adds these kind of like columns and pillars. What the heck? That is amazing. I love the look of all of these. Just changing things around looks so nice. So there's that. But what I wanted to officially show you guys is you can cut sections of walls. So I'm going to demonstrate over here. As you can see, this bit of the wall, I am adjusting this independently from this section, from this section. It's because I cut those up. That's right. Watch this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that. You are going to go into, oh gosh, how did I even do this? Oh, you want to is it right click? Yeah, right click on the wall. You'll get this little scissor icon. You want to click once, and that is going to cut it. And now we have two sections. So we can adjust this independently. We can adjust this. This is so good for ruins. Say we want to cut this again. Cut that. That adds this as its own independent section. This as its own independent section. That as its own independent. You guys get it. But how stinking cool. I cannot even believe I figured that out. Also, you can add archways in through walls. So that's cool. Okay, officially this was the last one. Goodbye. Have a good afternoon or day or evening. Goodbye.